What's going on, folks? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at Waldstein in our character guide series. I'm glad you clicked on the video because we're going to be taking a look at everything you need to know about Waldstein if you're planning to pick him up. He's a very strong character, so stick around. Alright, so just with every other guide series video, we're going to be taking a look at his assist first. We're going to be taking a look at his 4P, and his 4P is his defensive assist. It's a two-hitting rock throwing move. It's really good for combo extending and really good for punishing bursts, of course, for whenever you bait it. However, you do have to be careful with this assist because it's a two-hitting move, the second hit tends to miss at specific angles. So be careful whenever you use this for combo extending and for other means as well. His second assist we're going to be taking a look at is his 5P, and that's his combo extender. It's a long-reaching, really fast move that puts the opponent in an OTG state for you to combo off of, just like that. His next assist is probably his best assist, and that's his 6P. And 6P is a Grim Reaper type move where he, makes a flurry of attack against you, and it's really good for pressuring and for combo extending, of course, but it's mainly used for pressuring, and it's especially good in cross combo as well, whenever you can just kind of control this and just keep moving around while Waldstein goes ham. So that's his assist. They're all very good and very decent. I think he's a very strong assist character, especially with that 6P doing work with pressure. Alright, now let's take a look at his normals here. And so his normals are all very good. Let's take a look at his standing normals first. His 5A, or his standing A, is super good because it reaches about half the screen. So if you want to play neutral with this character, you want to really harass the opponent from half screen, 5A is the button to go. And it's really far, and it's decently fast as well. I'm surprised at how fast and far this reaches. So this is a very strong button if you want to harass the opponent from half screen. The next one is going to be 5B. And 5B also has an incredible range, and it has this like up scooping motion, and it's not as anti-air, but the follow-up that comes after this 5B is really strong as well for combos, and we'll get into that when the smart combo section comes in. His next normal is of course his 5C, and his 5C is just a regular universal overhead, just like with every other uni character. Let's take a look at his crouching normals now. His crouching normal, of course, 2A, which is really good because he's a grappler and he's slow moving, and it's a low, by the way. You can only block this crouching. So, and it's really fast as well, which makes his reverse beat like very strong. So whenever you try to do some kind of pressure, just cancel into 2A and you're safe. It's really strong. So his reverse beat game is very good in this game. Alright, so there is 2B, and this is possibly the best anti-air in the game. Arguably, I should say. Arguably the best anti-air in the game, just because this anti-air actually leads to a ton of damage if you do the right combo, and it has so much head invincibility that you can really just demolish people in the air, and you can continue pressure, of course, if they end up blocking it. It's a super strong anti-air. Anytime they take flight, just use this anti-air. It's super good. Alright, next up is his sweep, his 2C, and it's a really good sweep. It's far reaching, and you can also, just like with every other uni character, you have reverse beat, so you can convert off of this sweep. You can keep pressuring off of the sweep as well. You can do whatever you want, really. So it's a very strong sweep. So if you really want to check the opponent's toes, you should use your 2C. It's very good. Now let's take a look at his jumping normals. So his JA is his main jump in tool. It's really good because it has a kind of a vertical diagonal type angle to it, so you can really hit people while they're crouching. So that's really good. And he has his, of course, the follow-up after JA, which is JAA, which can really confirm off of your jump in and continue the combo. So it's really good. And also it's good for, of course, extending your combo in the air like that. Alright, so next we have JB, and JB is a bit of a more obscure button. It's a button where it's really long reaching, but it wall bounces on hits. Any hits, it wall bounces, so you can you make up for some really weird combos. And there is a lot of uses for this button in combos, but for the most part, you're not going to be using this button too much unless you want to run away and use this button to kind of just instant air backdash and use that button to kind of control the space around. But it has kind of like an upward angle, so it's not really used for crouching opponents or for jump-ins, so you're going to be relying mostly on JA. JC, however, it's a very weird button. It's his body dive. It's very good for baiting anti-airs, actually. I baited quite a few of them myself. And sometimes if you just straight up want to not even care and just throw it out there. Just super jump and just throw it out there. It has a gigantic hitbox, so it's bound to hit something at some point, and it does hit behind them as well. So it's very good for just, you know, just YOLO type situations. You can convert off of with assist and such to cover your approach. So JC, pretty fun button, to be honest. Next up, let's take a look at his auto combos, and his auto combos are all very strong as well, especially when it comes to combos. His A auto combo is this one right here. Now, as you can see, in the middle of that auto combo, he had a little bit of a pickup and then kind of puts him down to the ground. And I've seen some people use this as a mix-up in itself, because you can't reverse be out of that little a scenario or that little sequence. So you can reset them by going low. Just go like that, just reset the combo completely if you think they're gonna be standing there, or if you want, you can just go for a grab straight up, and it's kind of like a mini mix-up in itself. I've seen some people use it like that, but for the most part, it's a very decent auto combo. Of course, not too bad. I know that you can combo into grab actually, but if you reset them, it does more damage, like I was saying earlier. All right, that's his 5A auto combo. His 5B auto combo, that's his 5B auto combo. It's a very long-reaching normal here, but his 5BB sometimes will not get the full animation, and you need the full animation to be able to get the damage and the combo the combo extensions and stuff. So if you're close enough, you get the combo extension. If you're not close enough for the 5B auto combo, then the second hit will just like wall bounce, and they won't wall bounce to him. They'll wall bounce on the other side of the screen. So be careful whenever you use this 5B auto combo. Just make sure you're in the right proximity and in the right space to be able to extend with your 5B auto combo. Other than that, he also has a third auto combo actually, and that is his 2B auto combo. He has a third one, which is just a follow-up after his 2B. If you press 2B, you get this crazy move right here, and you can actually keep extending the combo after that. It sets up for the perfect combo routes with your 5BB. So whenever you go for an anti-air and you get the hits, be sure to press it again for you to do this really strong combo route. So remember when I said that he could do a lot of damage off of his anti-air? That's the main reason, is because of this auto combo right here. So yeah, those are all of his smart combos. All right, let's take a look at his special moves now. So we have 236A. 236A is a very strong special move, just because it has a ton of range and it's really fast, and it can be a follow-up to your 5A that I was mentioning earlier. So you can do things like this, and you can actually convert with an assist and go in for some big damage. Now, however, this button is minus on block, so they can punish you if you do it close enough, but because this button has so much range, if you space it correctly and they block it, it's not punishable. So you have to be really careful when you space it. So if you do it like right here and they block it, they are able to punish you. All right, so be careful with that. But however, you're not really going to be in a situation where that's going to be the case. You're mostly going to be using this for, you know, neutral spacing, converting off of 5A, that stuff like that. It's stuff like that. So next up is 236B. 236B is basically his 6P. It's mostly for pressuring and for switching out, and if you want to go for the extra damage, you can definitely go for this right here. It's not bad at all, but for the most part, you're gonna be mostly using that into assist. However, if somehow they let you, if they start blocking, whoopsies, if they start blocking and you want to be ballsy, you can go like that, and, you know, of course, you can go like that and go for another one maybe and switch out into your assist. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, that's really good. And by the way, this is also minus on block, so don't use this too often because it is minus on block, or they can just, sometimes the third hit might whiff, or they can push block and they can punish you and such. So anyways, don't use that too recklessly. I would suggest using 236A mostly. His EX version is actually super useful because not only is it safe on block, that is safe on block, but it's also, it pushes them back so far that it's, even if it is minus on block, I don't know the exact frame data, the pushback that this button has makes it safe. to anything really. I tried punishing it with every character and I couldn't punish it at all. Not just that, but it's just a flurry of attacks, so you can be able to go like that and just switch into your other character and mix them up just like that. It's really, really strong for that purpose for sure. And it also does a lot of damage if you do end up comboing into it. So yeah, stuff like that. Anyways, you see what I mean? Like, it's a very strong special move. It does cost a bar, but it is worth it if the situation calls for it. Especially when he's by himself. You can kind of harass people with this button. So anyways, that's his 236 specials. Now let's move on to his 214 specials, and those are his grabs. Alright, so he's got 3 grabs. Got this one. It has the least amount of range out of all of them. It looks like it has a lot of range, but it does not. It is pretty quick though, so if you want just a quick grab, if you're really getting in their head, you can just do 214A. Now the one that has pretty decent range is 214B. It's a little slower on startup, but it does more damage, and it does have a lot more range compared to 214A. So like, for example, there's 214A, there's 214B. So it's pretty good. Now if you want the best of both worlds, you're gonna have to spend a bar. So if you want range and speed, you're gonna go, and more damage, of course, you're gonna have to go for the bar. So it's pretty freaking good. It's pretty fun sometimes, and don't be surprised if he completely whiffs, even though his gauntlet is literally in her face. So just be mindful that this character has very large limbs and they had to balance him somehow. All right, so even though it's right in front of their face, it can whiff sometimes because the hitbox is not there. So anyways, those are his grabs. They're all very good. I suggest using 214B. That's probably the best one that you can use because it has a decent amount of range. So those are his special moves. Oh, of course, and his DP. His DP, this is it right here. And if you hit it on the ground, then it does that automatically. The backwards like suplex type move. If you hit him on the ground, they get that, and you cannot control it. If you hit them in the air, it does not do the follow-up. So if we have them jumping, it just does the clap, and that's it. Doesn't do the follow-up. So those are his special moves. There we go. We got them all. Now we got his distortions, and his distortions are pretty good, especially his 214BC distortion, because this is a grab. You have to jump out of this, and the catch is it is a 0 frame grab, which means if you're not jumping by this point right here, whoopsies. If you're not jumping by this point right here, if you do not jump before the super flash, that is what's called a super flash here. And if you do not jump before then, you're gonna get grabbed no matter what. So if you're at this point right here and you have not jumped, you're gonna get grabbed no matter what. You cannot DP, you cannot super, nothing. You cannot escape from this. Everything has to be done before the super flash. It's very fast. This is what makes the grapplers really good in my opinion. So 0 frame, very good damage. It's a grab. It's invincible on startup, so you can use it as a reversal, or you can just catch them off guard if they're just standing there. And there's his 236BC, which is also invincible on startup. However, it is so he does travel quite a bit until he gets to you, and it's guaranteed corner carry. So if you want to get to the corner, you want to use the super. However, it is not a 0 frame reversal super, so you have to be careful with it. Plus, it can get blown up by projectiles. A lot of people thought this was projectile invincible, but it's not projectile invincible. You're going to be mainly using this for like combo enders and then getting the corner afterwards because it's guaranteed corner carry. So, and of course we got to use his astral so you guys can see his astral here. It is a grab, so you have to grab into it, but here it is. Now that we've taken a look at Waldstein's arsenal, his weapons list, let's take a look at why Waldstein is such a great character. Because, as you all may know, Waldstein is considered to be one of the best in the game. And there's a reason for that. And hopefully you guys can take this as alright, I should be using Waldstein like this type of section, all right? But I'm gonna be explaining why he's so good and why he's considered to be one of the best, okay? Waldstein is a grappler, all right? And what grapplers are, of course, they grab you, they want to get in because they want to grab you. As I mentioned before, did I mention that they want to grab you? So they want to grab you so bad that they will do anything to get in. And sometimes when you give a grappler too many tools to be able to get in, that tends to make them very, very strong. So for example, in the case of Waldstein right here, Waldstein was a character that did not have too much mobility. He was very slow on the ground, of course, but in this game he's still very slow on the ground, of course, but they gave him air mobility. They gave him a double jump. They gave him a super jump that goes very far. They gave him an air backdash so he can run away and do specific combos as well. They gave him a whole bunch of tools to be able to maneuver around his weakness, which is projectiles, long range attacks, zoning, that type of stuff. He's able to maneuver to some extent, and that's not exactly perfect, of course, but if you are a good Waldstein and you can maneuver around projectiles and other ranged attacks, then you are able to be very, very strong with Waldstein. Not just that, but they gave him just a very good jumping tool and a very obscure way to get in to bait anti-airs too, and a very good air-to-air potential with his JB. Just the character is very strong, all right, just in that regard. And alongside that, he has so much damage. Just like I said before, his damage off of his anti-air is insane. Let me show you. Oh, I messed it up. Let me show you just off of one anti-air, and that's not even counter hit. Just like that. Bam. He's able to do all that damage just off that one anti-air. And just to say that almost 7k, by the way, I think that's 7k if it's a counter hit, which is most of the time that's going to be the case. That is going to be a counter hit, so it does about 7k damage, and it's really, really strong to be able to do that amount of damage by himself with no assists and no meterless. So to be able to do that stuff, that is a very strong sign that it's a very strong character. And alongside that, he also has just the long limbs, as I was saying before. Conversions with this character are ridiculous, and also just his mix-up potential with his pressure, you know, being able to slash around and kind of harass the opponents whenever they want. And not just that, but just his cross combo potential is outrageous. So like his cross combo potential is insane. Just I don't even know how to use it. It's too powerful for me. Like I can't control him in cross combo. You have to be a living legend to be able to control cross combo. I'm just kidding. Anybody can control cross combo, but I just haven't practiced. So the character is a very strong character. Large limbs, big damage, great air mobility, pressure out the wazoo with his cross combo potentials, great assists. Just like, what can he do? He doesn't have a beam, that's about it. He doesn't have a projectile, but he doesn't really need one per se, because his limbs are already kind of a projectile. Now, with all these things being said, he's not exactly perfect. Just like with every other character, nobody's perfect, all right? He does have some weaknesses. For example, like I said, he's very susceptible to jump in this game and also move very slowly on the ground, so you can harass him with long-range attacks. If your character has really good anti-airs, for example, Gordeau, he can knock Waldstein out of the air. Now, Waldstein with assists is a different story. Waldstein with assists is one of the scariest things in the game, especially with characters like Izayoi, Tager, Gordeau, anybody that can really put the pressure on, Yang even. You can really do some damage with Waldstein against your opponents if you pair him up with a great assist. Speaking of assists, let's go into that right now. Alright, now let's take a look at all the characters that go very well with Waldstein. We of course have some familiar faces from previous guides and some faces that you're definitely going to be seeing here that you might not like, but you can't knock them for having some great support assists. Alright, so with Waldstein, I really like playing with Izayoi, Blake, Batista, and Ruby. Those characters just do have some really cool synergy with Waldstein, especially with Izayoi and Batista. Those characters, and also Blake, I've seen some really nasty active switching shenanigans with Blake and Waldstein, because Blake has the ability to go on the other side very easily, and Waldstein has some great assists with pressuring and such. You can get some really cool stuff going with that. Ruby can't knock her for having some great assists and being a great character, having priority out the wazoo, and Izayoi having some really cool conversions, and Izayoi the Yoi benefits a lot from Waldstein as well. So both of these characters, or all these characters, really benefit from Waldstein as well as Waldstein benefiting from them. Alright, so of course you can go with some more obscure picks as well that you really would like. If you want to go with the meme team, Tager, Waldstein, you can definitely do that. Jubei, Mitsuru, and Yang do very well with them, just because Jubei has some really nasty pressure strings, especially with Waldstein on the back doing some pressure assists. Then you have a force to be reckoned with, and you have some really cool active switching that I've seen and I've found with Jubei, Waldstein. I've been trying to dink around with that team a little bit. And Yang, Waldstein, of course, being a top 8 placer at EVO, you can't knock that team. Even though it was a 2 out of 3 setting, I'm never gonna let that go. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. It's in the past now. But for the most part, all these characters do very, very well with Waldstein, and Waldstein does very well with those characters as well. So that's the main line that I have for this lineup of characters that you are seeing right now. So other than that, very good stuff. And if you want to synergize with other players, or I'm sorry, not players, characters, go right ahead. Don't let me stop you from trying to find an ideal team for you if you like other characters more than these that I've named right here. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for today. Thank you all for watching this guide. Of course, a very simple guide for beginners trying to pick up Waldstein. Very strong character if you guys are thinking of picking him up, or even having a pocket Waldstein, because that is a it's not a bad thing to do, having a pocket Waldstein, that's for sure. So enjoy the guide. Of course, if you guys need anything else, let me know in the comment section down below. I'm going to be doing these guides more often, of course, trying to finish off the roster. Thank you all for watching once again. Hit the like button if you guys did like this guide. If I missed anything, let me know in the comment section down below, of course, and I'll try and improve for the next guides. Also, subscribe to the channel if you guys want to see more guides and BB tag content, and follow me on Twitter if you guys want to know anything about the channel or myself. Take care, everybody. Have yourselves a great day. Peace out.